Hi, Per Damgaard here, and welcome to this tutorial where we're going to go through 11 tools that can help you extract leads online. And those 11 tools are split up into 3 different categories. Tools that can help you find leads online, tools that can help you download leads online, and tools that can help you qualify your leads online. The purpose mainly here is to look into B2B leads because those are the ones that you're actually allowed to use in your marketing processes. So to get started, we have 11 different tools, and we'll go through them first focusing on the tools that can help you discover leads. Because most likely you would already know some of the sources that you would like to extract leads from. That could be LinkedIn, it could be portals, it could be Facebook and so on. But there are many other potential sources that you might not know of. So some of these tools have some predefined templates that let you find leads that you know of and also leads that you haven't heard about that could be of interest to you. So we'll start there. And the first tool we look into is Kadera. Kadera is a browser plugin that you use set into either Chrome or Microsoft's Edge, and it has a set of pre-built templates that let you download leads with just a single click, and then you can get the leads in an Excel file and work with them from there. So that's pretty smart. And we have another tool that sort of does the same thing, and it's called Web Automation. And Web Automation and Kadera basically solve the same tasks. It helps you find the leads that you're looking for, and it helps you download them. The difference is basically on the tech side, because Kadera is a Chrome plugin and Web Automation is a server solution. And both of those solutions has sort of pros and cons. The smart with Web Automation is that it's not a plugin that you have to install in your computer. You can just start using the tool right away because it runs on the server side. And that's actually also the downside of that tool, because working on the server side means that the websites that you want to extract data from can see that you're getting approached by a server and not a real browser. And that means that they would set up some limitations on how the server can access their websites. So it means that you cannot extract from as many sources using the server approach as you can with the Chrome approach or the Chrome Edge plugin approach. So that's basically the difference between the two tools. Then you have another option, getting tools from or getting leads or finding leads from your websites, and that is to use sort of a more consultancy approach, where you would go into a company and then have them do the leads detection for you. And there are many companies that would do this. One of them you could use is called Bright Data, and they can help you collect data if you want to. Another tool that does sort of the same thing as Kadera and Web Automation does, it's called Lead Extractor. Lead Extractor is focused on only 2 things, and that is to get leads from either Facebook or from Google Maps. And getting leads from Google Maps is pretty smart if you are targeting local businesses, because you can make a search like hairdressers in New York, and then you get a list of hairdressers in New York, which will probably be very accurate, because all the hairdressers have a own interest in keeping Google Maps data up to date. So that's a good approach to get data from. And the same with Facebook, of course. So Lead Extractor is focusing on only those 2 elements. And that is pretty smart, but the thing is that both Web Automation and Kadera does the same thing, plus much more, and both of those tools are cheaper than Lead Extractor. Lead Extractor costs 45 euros and upwards a month. Web Automation costs from $25, and Kadera only costs $9 a month. So actually, if you compare those 3, there's no real reason why you want to work with Lead Extractor, because the 2 other tools gives you more for less money. Anyway, that was the tools that can help you get the data. And then the thing is, you would then have extracted a lot of data, and you would, no matter which of the 3 tools you have been working with, you would have some sort of data file with the leads that you have collected. It doesn't really matter if it's a CSV file or if it's an Excel file. You would have a list. And this list, sometimes if you're lucky, for instance, if you collect them from Google Maps, then you would have the contact information, their email address and their phone numbers, so that's fine. But in many other cases you would have incomplete information for the next steps, because you wouldn't know the persons you would contact, their phone numbers or email addresses, because in many cases that would not be on the websites that you would scrape. So you need to go one step further to get those informations. And there are some tools that can help you do this depending on where you get the data from. One of the good ones is called Hunter. And Hunter basically lets you upload company information, and then they will qualify contact information either in form of email addresses or phone numbers. So you'll be able to take the data you have collected from the other tools, put it into Hunter, and then you would know who in the organization you can talk to. So that's pretty smart. There are some other tools that can help you do the same thing. One of them is called Lusha, and Lusha has a specific focus on LinkedIn. So it's like Kadera, a lead extractor. It's also a plugin that you put into your Chrome extensions, and then you can click on Lusha, and it will help you to see if they have more information about the person you have found on LinkedIn than is shown there. Because normally LinkedIn would like you to stay within their ecosystem, so they don't share the contact information such as phone numbers and emails, because that would move you out of their ecosystem. But you have an interest in not staying in the ecosystem because you would like to call them or you like to email them, because that's probably more efficient in the way you do your digital marketing and sales strategies. So Lusha can help you do this, and it's pretty smart, and it's very focused on LinkedIn. So that's a great tool. And then you have some other tools that can sort of qualify you, the data that you get in the same way, and that is also to use some consultancy services that can help you get contact information. And there's many of those. There's one called People Database Lab, where you can buy contact information from leads and then work with them from there. And that's smart, but it's also a very expensive solution, buying from database sites like that. So they don't even have a price on their website because it's expensive. Then you have some more specialized tool. There's one called Leadfeeder, and the smart thing about Leadfeeder is that it detects when you when visitors on your website visit your site, their IP addresses, and that means that it knows the visitors you come from which companies they come from. And the reason you would like to know that is to see if one of your potential leads has moved status from cold to warm. So if you have been nurturing some of your potential customers and you can see that they start visiting your website, then you would know that they have started showing an interest in your business. So that's a sales signal or potential sales signal that you should act upon, because then you should start talking to them, because there's some reason why they start visiting your website. So that's pretty smart. The minus with Leadfeeder, if you can say that, is that if you're targeting fairly big companies, then there could be many roles or persons from that company that would visit your website. So that would sort of clutter up the picture a bit, because then you wouldn't know why they're there, and if it's really a sales signal or if they have business with you already, then you couldn't really use it. So Leadfeeder is very specialized in detecting cold to warm leads in very specific circumstances. The next type of tools that we're going to look into is tools that is specialized in getting data from LinkedIn or contact information enrichment from LinkedIn. One of them is called Prospecting. The smart thing about Prospecting is that it combines context flows that works on email and LinkedIn as well. So you can use the tool to extract contacts from LinkedIn and then approach them through either email or LinkedIn, or a combination. And the tools like this that works with the LinkedIn are pretty smart, but you have to also be careful to work with them, because LinkedIn doesn't really want you to get out of their platform and their ecosystem. So every initiative that you take, where you try to take the information from LinkedIn and extract it out of LinkedIn to other sources, is sort of something that works against what they want to do. It's not illegal as such, but LinkedIn tries to change the rules and regulations all the time. Also, how much you can also message people and so on. So you have to be a bit careful, and the risk could be that your LinkedIn account could be terminated or paused depending on what you are doing. So propose with caution. But then again, the tools are smart, so it's a bit of a balance how much you want to use them, but probably shouldn't overdo it. You have another tool that sort of worked the same way as Prospectin. It's called Alfred, and it has a purely focus on LinkedIn data. So it doesn't have the automation flows that I explained earlier. It only focuses on how to extract data from LinkedIn. So that's also pretty smart. And then again, just a third alternative, there is a solution called Salesflow, which basically is doing the same thing as Alfred. So they are competitors, and you can choose either one, basically depending on the pricing and what you do. Some of them are actually pretty expensive. Salesflow, for instance, costs $89 a month, and that's pretty much for a software tool, depending on what you normally would pay. And that's sort of it. Different tools that you can work with. I hope you found this interesting, and please follow this channel for more information on how to extract data from the web. Thank you. Bye bye.